Moving to Hawaii with pets. Yes, it's a pain in the butt, but there's other issues you might need to be concerned about once you actually arrive with your fur baby. Let's go over all the details. All right, guys, like I said, you probably have seen my video, or maybe you haven't. If you haven't, definitely check this out. There's a video right here that goes over the step-by-step process on how to move your pet to the island because it is a rabies-free state. There's lots of stipulations, rules, regulations, time frame, quarantines you possibly have to do when it comes to moving your fur baby out here to Hawaii. Now, let's say you get through that whole process, whether you hire it out, you do the paperwork yourself. There is another challenge once you actually arrive safely with your pet, and that's finding a house. And there's some difficulties with finding a house because a lot of times when you're looking to buy a house, it might say, oh, this condo or building is not pet friendly, no pets allowed. Or if you're looking to rent a place, they might say, we are not accepting applications with people who have pets. But in this video, I'm going to explain to you some loopholes that you possibly could take advantage of when you're renting and or buying. So let's jump into it. Now, before we jump into that, if you guys could do me a huge favor, because I'm seeing that a lot of people are seeing my videos, but not enough people are subscribing. Do me a huge favor. If you got any value out of this video, make sure you click the subscribe and notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on my social media platforms. With that being said, let's go into the loopholes when it comes to having or finding a place with your fur baby. So let's start with the obvious. I'm a real estate agent. I generally only help people with buying and selling homes. And one of the biggest questions we have is, hey, I have a dog of a certain breed, a certain size, but I really like this unit, but it says in the building or in the condo documents that it's not a pet-friendly building, so I can't buy that unit. Incorrect. We still can buy that unit. I've done it multiple times. There is a huge loophole that you can take advantage of, legitimately, of course, but this is what you would do. You would essentially fill out the proper paperwork because this is what you would need, and it's probably supported because you do need that emotional support, which is to turn your pet, not into a pet, but into an emotional support animal. Now, there's a website right here and plenty of other ones that you can find online, which basically allows you to contact a licensed doctor who can give you a letter to legitimize that your pet is no longer a pet, it's an emotional support animal. And when your pet is no longer a pet and is an emotional support animal, it's exactly that. It's not a pet. So those rules of the condo saying pets aren't allowed, well, great, it's not a pet anymore. And I'm federally protected that you cannot tell me based on my medical condition that I need an emotional support animal, that I cannot live in this unit or purchase this unit with an emotional support animal. So that is the big loophole. So whenever you're looking to purchase a property out here, don't be concerned about whether it's pet friendly or not. There's ways around that, and that's how you do it. Okay, now that has to deal with purchasing a property. Now let's talk about renting a property, which is a little different with the rules and regulations. Now again, similar, a landlord cannot deny your application based on you having a pet. And I'm a landlord myself, so I'm going to tell you what you can do. I'm not the biggest fan of this process, but it is something that you can do. It's something that somebody actually did to me. What you can do is when they ask if you have pets, again, it's not a pet, it's an emotional support animal. So you can tell them, no, I don't have any pets. Now, it's up to you, and I would suggest that you do tell them you have an emotional support animal, but there is a good chance that they're gonna see pet emotional support animal, still has hair, still might tear at my unit. I'm not gonna approve your application, but they cannot deny you based on that. But landlords are probably going to find reasons and just simply say, thank you so much for your application. I do see you have an emotional support animal. We're not denying you because of that. We just found a different applicant that we prefer to go with. And they're legally allowed to do that. They're not legally allowed to tell you no based on you having a pet, or more importantly, an emotional support animal. So if they do deny you because you have an emotional support animal, that is technically illegal. So you could, again, I wouldn't suggest doing this. It's not good to bring bad mana or bad energy to the island and start creating enemies. I always suggest honesty is the best strategy. Tell them that you'll put an extra deposit down, or that you will pay an extra rent fee for the pet. That's the best route to go, but I'm here to educate you on what your options are. And that is one of your options, is you can have your pet turn into an emotional support animal, fill out the application, say you don't have a pet, and then when it's time to move in, you can refer to the code, tell the landlord, say you have an emotional support animal. Again, I don't really suggest this, but it is something that you can do. Now, another thing when it comes to renting, again, I believe honesty is the best policy, and building relationships out here is extremely important, is when you're searching for a property, whether that's on rent.com or Zillow, don't put the filter pets allowed. You can do that, but you're gonna see that your list of maybe 30 listings will go down to 2. Now, those 2 listings will have a good chance that you're gonna be fine with the pet. But I find that if you reach out to these other people that are saying pets not allowed, and maybe you have a small dog or it's very well behaved, or you're open to adding an extra deposit or paying extra for rent for having your pet there, landlords may be open to it. So don't knock those ones off the list. Definitely reach out to those landlords, have a communication, open, honest communication with them and what you're willing to do for them to allow you to live there with your pet. That I find is to be the best loophole and strategy that I would suggest when it comes to renting, opposed to the legality side of things. But I'm here to educate you on what all your options are. Now, with that being said, that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys got any value out of this, do me a huge favor. As I mentioned before, smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. My name is Patrick Longley. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.